I always felt like I was not good enough. I lived a life where I was mostly alone. And if I did relate to other people, I didn't feel like myself. I felt like I was living inside the shell of another person that I didn't even know who was. I didn't even know who I was. Who was hiding behind all those masks and all that anxiety and depression? Only when I started to work on my mental health, when I started writing songs as an 18-year-old that had just moved out from home, only when I started really expressing myself creatively and to reflect about myself and the life that I was living and the life that I had lived, could I really start to get to know myself. I didn't feel that my songs was anything special. I didn't feel like I had anything to offer. But I still continued to share my songs on YouTube because I loved making songs. And even though there were not any listeners, I just kept on going. If I did get a comment, it was mostly a negative comment. I was just so used to getting negative comments, hatred, and not having any support system. I had to become my own support system. I had to be there for myself, learn to love myself, and one of the ways that I did that was learning to be creative, learning to create something, learning to write songs, learning to express myself, be honest, be real about what I was feeling, be authentic and be vulnerable. And that same process leaked into my real life. I could not help being vulnerable. I could not help showing myself more and more. Learning to embrace my own self-hatred and my own shame. Learning to speak up about the things that I was struggling with, even though I felt that I was the only one going through it and no one could really understand it. In songwriting, I felt like I found a friend, something or someone I could confide in, something that would never judge me, but would just be open to whatever I had to express. And little by little, did I find people along the way that would have the same significance as my songwriting, which is to see me, to love me, to make room for me, to support me. And even though I'm still on a journey and I don't feel like I am there yet, I continue to use songwriting as a form of therapy, as a way of self-reflecting, as a way of diving into the depths of myself, diving into the pain, but also diving into my self-love. As you will hear in most of my songs, there's some sort of conflict or pain, but there's also a resolution. There's also a coming to peace with what is, whether that be pain or joy or just being. I see it as this. There is my pain, there is my power, and there is my peace. Thank you for listening to my songs. Thank you for relating to it. Thank you for allowing yourself to be vulnerable and receive it. Thank you for reflecting on your own life when listening to it. You motivate me in wanting to be myself even more than I wanted yesterday.